I bet that damn book that he's selling on Amazon is missing pages too. That's why it keeps getting 1-star reviews. Boy, if you don't get out of here.
Roxiie says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxiie with Roxiie Says, and we're gonna talk about it. Today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 14. Let's get right into it because you already know I'm pissed. But before we do, please do not forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you're made aware every time I post a new video. And I appreciate all of you who have been watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I appreciate it so much. All right, so let's get into this review. So decision day is in 13 days, and the episode opens up with Juan and Carla. They're getting a reading from her intuitive reader, and Carla thinks that this will help Juan be more open since he's been very indecisive, right? I think that Carla is such a patient sweetheart because, baby, the way I would have done curbed Juan, stop wasting my time, all right? But it shouldn't take all of this to get someone to show you some type of attraction. So they're doing this love reading, and the woman tells them that they are soulmates, and I immediately yelled, refund! Get your refund, get your money back, lady, get a new deck of cards, because that is not what's happening here, okay? So Juan says that it's really hard for him to be vulnerable in an experience like this. And I always ask, why do y'all sign up for shows like this when you know that this is how you are? So the reader tells them that the cards are telling her that they want to get more physical. And Jonathan is looking at her like, no, the hell I do not. No, I do not. Who told you that? So Juan does admit that he is a bit analytical about working towards the connection, and he doesn't let it flow the way that he should. All right. So at least he can be honest about that. But the reader does tell him to try leaving his mind behind, because sometimes love is just a thing that you can't analyze. Now, like I said in previous episodes and in this scene, I do appreciate Juan being open to new experiences with Carla. But child, as soon as Miss Tarot lady left, Juan was like, you know what? I'm not really a big fan of tarot. And I was like, I remember on the wedding day, Juan, I remember you told Carla that you were into tarot too, or that you at least liked it because your brother does tarot. Yeah. I remember that. You were like, oh, that's so cool. That's so interesting. But immediately, Juan says that he's not going to put much thought into what the cards say because he doesn't care what the card says. He wants to live his life based in reality. Carla, baby girl, please stop doing these little activities with Juan, because he acts like he's into it. And as soon as it's over, he's like, you know what? That was fun. That was cool. I still don't want to touch you, though. That's exactly what he gives every single time. All right. So now we're with Camille and Thomas. They're discussing their nervousness around decision day, and they have a few kinks that they need to work out. For one, both of their leases will still be in effect past decision day, so they need to decide where they're going to move after this experience. And Tom says, look, I can finish out my lease, you can finish out your lease, and then we can figure it out after that. So Camille is like, okay, and after our leases are done, do you want to spend more time living together or what? And Tom is just like, I think we can find a compromise on it. Tom, is everything okay? It is very clear that Camille is trying to lock down some type of concrete answer from you in regards to what y'all gonna do after this. And Tom is hitting her with the, let's just live in the moment, let's just go with the vibe and see where it goes. No, no. And to Tom's face, Camille is like, okay, cool. But in her confessional, she says that she feels like she's the only one thinking of the future right now. Now, in that conversation, Camille, I wish that you had made your expectations clear and let Tom know that you would like to live together and not just have said, oh, okay, when that's not really how you feel, right? But I 100% understand why she feels like that after seeing this conversation. It's not a good feeling expressing to someone that you want to live together or that you want to take the next step in your relationship, and they're just like, let's just see where it goes. Let's just go with the flow. No. And y'all grown. Y'all too old for that. And this is yet another example for Camille of Tom dropping the ball when coming to him taking leadership in their relationship, all right? So next we see MM. She's meeting up with Dr. Pia, and apparently Aatchi is supposed to be there, but he's running late. And I said, listen, if Dr. Pia tells MM to call or text Aatchi to find out where he's at, if he's coming, I'm going to lose it. Okay? So MM is there, and she says that there's been absolutely no communication between the two of them since Aatchi has left town for Houston, which shows that there is no commitment because he's back from Houston. He's been back and he still hasn't contacted her, and she hasn't contacted him, and I'm very proud of MM for that. I was so proud when she said that she hasn't spoken to him at all right? So then we see Aatchi. He comes in, he hugs Dr. Pia, And once again, he does not acknowledge MM. Weren't you and MM on decent terms when y'all left? You said that you was going to call her and text her. Y'all were on decent terms, right? So why are you mad? Why are you mad? Oh, I know why you mad. You're mad because she hasn't been blowing your phone up with calls and text messages like she usually does. You're mad because she said, look, if we're going to speak to each other, you need to reach out to me. The ball is in your court, and you don't like that. You like when she blows up your phone because you like that attention. You like that energy. It feeds your ego, and she didn't do it this time. That's really why you're upset, clown. You're a clown, and I'm going to call you something worse when we get to the end of this video, okay? So Dr. Pia has to ask him if he was not going to greet his wife. And he's like, oh, I was going to greet her. And then he turns to MM and he's like, how you doing? How you doing? And Dr. Pia is all dazed and confused with the way that Aatchi is acting. And honestly, I'm confused about Dr. Pia's confusion because where have you been, Miss Mamas? He acts like this all the time. Every single time y'all meet up. What you confused about? You ain't been taking notes during y'all little meetings? So Aatchi swears that he was going to say hi to MM, but Dr. Pia asked him before he was able to say hi. Boy, whatever. So she asks them what happened with the moving in situation because that's what they were supposed to do when they last met. So Aatchi says that they decided that it wasn't for the best and they haven't spoken this week because they were both so busy. As if his fingers don't work, right? Remember, MM put the ball in his court. He said she does too much. She said, all right, bet I'm going to fall back. And he said that he would reach out to her on his time. Remember, I'm gonna talk to you when I want to talk to you. I'm gonna text you when I want to text you. And he hasn't, but he says that the reasoning is because he needed some solitude and some safety for himself. That's why he hasn't communicated with MM. Did Aatchi tell MM that he was going to do this? Did he tell MM that he was going to Houston and just needed some time alone? No, he did not. He told her he was going to contact her every day. Okay, so he says that he didn't communicate with her because when he does communicate with MM, everything gets all confused and she ends up throwing things back in his face. So MM is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me get a specific example because she's like completely lost, right? So he thinks of the last conversation that they had when he was being very manipulative, claiming that he was reaching out to her when he knew that he wasn't. That conversation really pissed me off. And where he says that he wants to leave the past in the past. And they go back and forth about who's more passive aggressive than the other. Now listen, like I told y'all are both passive aggressive and spicy. Because remember, MM, we saw how you got spicy with Dr. Pia, but Aatchi, you take the cake. You are the passive aggressive spicy queen, okay? Don't get it twisted. And I also feel that Aatchi's passive aggressiveness is way more malicious and unwarranted than MM's, all right? So of course, because Aatchi gets frustrated whenever he's challenged and he's wrong, he starts raising his voice. And Dr. Pia is like, I'm so confused. I'm still so confused. I'm so tired of them having these sit downs because after all of that, after that back and forth and Dr. Pia heard what's been going on over the week, she's still like, you know what? How can you two move forward in your communication? Dr. Pia, what is wrong? What is the problem? And then she asks Aatchi if he still wants to be in the marriage. Obviously not. Are we? Dr. Pia, bring another doctor in because Dr. Pia been pissing me off. I'm so sorry. So Aatchi says that he doesn't feel like this is a marriage, right? And Dr. P is like, yeah, because y'all need to communicate more. You two need to be more consistent. Right there, Aatchi said he doesn't want to be in this marriage anymore. He doesn't feel like it's real. I don't know if Dr. P isn't listening. I don't know what's going on, all right? But I'm not going to let you piss me off this week, Dr. Pia. Nope, we're not going to do it. Not at all. So Aatchi, he flat out says that he has no desire to move forward. And MM gets upset and she gets up, she leaves, she goes to the bathroom and she cries because she is hurt and she is frustrated. And when she leaves, Dr. Pia is still asking Aatchi what's wrong and trying to convince him to move forward. Do the experts work on commission? Do they get a bonus based on how many couples make it to the end? Because that's the only thing that's making sense right now. Dr. Pia, what percentage do you get if MM and Aatchi make it to the end? Because I am not understanding why you keep pushing for this couple to stay together. It's like beating a dead horse at this time, all right? So MM comes back and she says that she's learned a lot about herself during this experience. And she turns to Aatchi and she tells him that it's never been her intention to ever hurt him. And I'm like, girl, don't even give him that. Don't even say that that to him, because to him, that's still you copping a plea. That's still you waving the white flag and saying, hey, I still want to be with you. I'm willing to work on this. And he doesn't care about hurting you. So you shouldn't give a damn about hurting him. He intentionally tries to hurt you. And we're going to see him do it at the end of this episode. Girl. So Dr. Pia asks MM if she wants to continue this marriage. And I'm going to let you guess. What you think MM said? Let's take a second. You guessed right. She said yes. She said she wants to stay in this marriage. And I said, what? What? At this point, if Aatchi got up and left, I wouldn't even be mad at him. I wouldn't even blame him, because at this point, he is telling the both of you that he doesn't want this. And y'all keep asking the same questions to the point where he's like, okay, yeah, I guess we can give it a try, when it is clear that he doesn't want to give it a try. And all Dr. Pia keeps telling them to do is communicate more and hit the reset button. Ma'am, you cannot just hit a reset button on someone calling you an asshole, right? And talking to you crazy and treating you like shit. There's no button that you can just be like, oh, we reset. It doesn't work like that, all right? Even in Aatchi's confessional, he says that he just wanted the conversation to end on a good note because it's been a long day. This is the exact same thing he did when he was in that last meeting with the experts, and he agreed to move back in with MM, knowing damn well he didn't want to, because he wanted the conversation to be over. That's the only reason why he agrees to these things when he's meeting with the experts, okay? And then he turns around and he does something different. So they get outside after their meeting with Dr. Pia is all finished, and it's quiet for a bit until Aatchi says, hey, do you want to go across the street and play some video games? And I don't even know if Aatchi finished his sentence before MM was like, yes, I do. Yes, I want to go play video games. And this is the dynamic of their relationship now. Aatchi has starved MM of communication, attention, and affection. And he has broken her down to the point where any little piece of niceness or kindness that he shows her will have her all excited and thinking that this is going to work when it's not. But we gonna later see that this whole little thing was Aatchi setting MM up to hurt her even more later down the road, all right? So, child, it is 3:43 a.m. in the morning, and we see Madison, the party girl, sneaking back into her apartment while Alan is on the couch sleeping. Alan, listen, at this point, it's time for you to put a damn deadbolt on the door, because I am tired of Madison sneaking back into the apartment at all hours of the night like a little teenager. But I was fully expecting when Alan asked her where she was last night for her to say, I wasn't at the club, I wasn't partying, you know, I'm not a party girl, I'm just beautiful and I can't help it. That's just what beautiful people do. We go out and we stay out all hours of the night. Girl, shut up. But we do see them the next morning, and Alan lets us know that Madison has been communicating way less when she goes out now. Before she would, you know, keep in contact with him, text him a bit more often, but now she's just like, oh, I'll tell you when I'm getting home, I'll tell you if I'm coming home. Sis, what? Excuse me, but now she barely checks in. And she claims that she was out getting tacos. She said she was out getting tacos, and she's all giggling about it like shit is sweet and shit is funny. Maybe I'm too petty, but baby, if I was Alan, the way that I would be going out and not coming home till 6 a.m., let's see how you like it. So next we see MM and Michelle. They're out and they're having a little girls' date, and Michelle is filling her in on what's been going on. She lets her know that she called Denise, and Denise told her the truth, and the photo does not exist. So now David is texting her, asking her to stay up late so that they can talk about it and so that he can clear the air. All he needs is a little bit more time. But now Michelle wants to know who David has been texting, and she says that she doesn't want to overthink it or reach, but she has a tiny suspicion that it's Madison, because she's David's type, and he was with Madison and Alan when that text came through. But she also says that she has no actual proof. She's just guessing, all right? And she truly doesn't want to think that Madison would do something like that. Michelle also mentions the possibility that maybe David is pursuing Madison and she isn't responding. I don't think that's what's happening. I think that David and Madison are like this. That's what I think, all right? She says that they also work out together, but it can all be a coincidence, and they meet up at the gym at the same time. Girl, that is no coincidence, okay? They make sure that both of their asses are at the gym at the same time so they can work out together and do other things. We don't know, all right? But she says the same thing that I said. She thinks that maybe David got his M's confused and he messaged Michelle when he meant to message Madison. So now MM fills Michelle in on all the stuff that's been going on with Aatchi and him saying that he no longer wants to be in this marriage. But MM says, you know what? I know that he's not done. I know he's not done. And Michelle is like, well, why do you think that? If he said he don't want to be in the marriage, Why would you think that he still want to be in a marriage and he's not done? And MM is like, because he keeps doing things and sending mixed signals and like flip-flopping. We had a meeting with Dr. Pia, and then he asked me if I wanted to go to the arcade. So, like, what? He told me to like text him when I get home. I know he's not done. I know he's not done with me. Exactly what I said. Didn't I tell you she was going to hold on to this little arcade date for dear life? This little date has her so hyped and has her forgetting every single thing that happened before that. I need you to wake up, girl. Wake up, all right? And now she says that she wants to challenge herself to navigate his emotions. You want to challenge yourself to navigate Aatchi's emotions when he can't even navigate his own emotions, sis? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And why are you willingly excited to deal with someone who's so inconsistent with you? But says that she's dated worse men. Okay, so she gonna see this through because he's not that bad. He's not that bad because leaving early would be cowardly in MM's opinion. And I'm like, no, girl, it's not. Leaving early would be you protecting your peace. Leaving early would give you time to focus on things that fulfill you instead of focusing on someone who is stressing you out and leaving you in a constant state of confusion, right? But is the type who has to ride something out until it absolutely fails, and she is going to ignore and excuse all of the red flags along the way, all right? So now we are here with Allison and Dr. Pia, and Madison is filling her in on all the things that's been getting her frustrated with their communication and their conversations going in circles. And when that happens, she says that she has no other choice. She has no other choice but to go out with her friends till damn near 4 a.m. and get drunk and get tacos because she's not a party girl. She's just so beautiful. Girl, side note, because Madison said this in last week's after party, look out for my review because I'm going to be covering that too. In Madison's mind, as long as she's not out at the club shaking her little booty, then it's perfectly fine for her to be out till 3, 4 a.m. She says, look, I'm at a bar. I'm not at the club shaking my butt, girl. It's this... Anyway, I just want to let y'all know that, all right? But she says that when they have tough conversations, she just wants to go out with her friends. And Alan is like, well, when you're home, you go to bed at 9. But when you're out with your friends, you running around till all hours of the morning. Like, what's that about? And Madison tries to deny that she does this 2 to 3 times a week because Alan does clock her. He's like, you be doing this a lot. And production's like, what you not gonna do is lie. Roll the tape back. Roll the tape back. So they roll the tape back and we see footage of Madison sneaking back into the apartment 2 a.m., 3 a.m., damn near 4 a.m., 3 times for the week. And she's like, well, that's just part of my lifestyle, and that's what it is. I said, excuse me? Alan, Dr. Pia, did you hear that? She said, that's just my lifestyle, and that's just what it is. Listen. Madison, you got the right one. You really do. So Dr. Pia asks Madison why she can't or won't prioritize their marriage. And Madison says that this is the most time that she has ever spent with a partner in a relationship. And I said, really? This? Child, Madison, you have no business being on this show either. You don't want to be in a relationship, girl. You want to be at the club where y'all can all be fam. That's where you want to be. Just go to the club. That's what you want to do. So all Madison is doing in this conversation is blaming Alan for her staying out all night. And Alan tells Dr. Pia about the dream that he's had about another man picking Madison up, and they went somewhere and they did the do. Okay, and Madison is like, ew, that is so yucky. But Alan says that he doesn't think Madison would cheat on him. Alan, pay attention to those dreams. Pay attention to those dreams. That's your intuition telling you what to look out for and telling you what to be prepared for, okay? So Madison says that she feels horrible that Alan feels this way and that he's having these dreams. And I'm like, yeah, okay, girl, you say that now, but we know in 2 days your ass gonna be out till 4 a.m. getting tacos, all right? So Dr. Pia is trying to teach Madison that you can't just run away to your friends every time you get in an argument with your husband. And Madison says, you know what, I understand. And she turns to Alan with a fake apology that we've all heard before. And she says that she'll be more aware and she'll do better. And of course, Alan accepts the apology. So I cannot wait to see what happens after this because I have zero faith in Madison staying home, okay? So now we are with our favorite couple in the whole wide world, David and Michelle. Come on down. Yes. So he thanks Michelle for waiting up for him so that they can have this conversation because he was working late, all right? Or were you out getting tacos? Were you Were you all getting tacos, David? Yeah, okay. So he finally admits that he effed up and the message that he sent was meant for another girl. Her name was Tiffany, but he deleted that contact and that thread because he messed up. I said, wait, Tiffany? What about, you had Danielle, you had Roxiie when you had that first conversation. Now it's Tiffany. In the first conversation, when you mentioned Danielle and Roxiie, Michelle asked you if you were messaging other women. You said no. Now you're talking about Tiffany? But he says that they were talking that night. They've been talking for about a week. And he says that Tiffany sent him a little picture. And that's the picture that he was responding to. But he's like, I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest. Yeah, now you're being honest, David. You want a cookie? You want a cookie because you finally had to be honest because Michelle just would not accept your lies, huh? Now you want some, praise? No. So Michelle is like, why should I believe you now? You've lied this entire time. And he's like, well, you can believe it or not. See? When y'all be apologizing to people with an attitude, that shit pisses me off because what are you upset about? What are you upset about? Yeah, Michelle's been a bitch to you, but you've been accepting that with a smile, right? So now that you've been caught up in your lie, you want to have an attitude? So he goes on to tell Michelle, look, this is the whole truth. So if you don't believe it, that's on you. You see this? This is the real David. That fake shit, he's been doing that nice guy stuff. Oh, I really want to be with you. I don't want this to work. I'm just going to be patient. That's not the real David. I was texting another woman. That's all that happened. Yeah, I might have lied to you about it for a week or two, but I'm telling you the truth now, so believe me. And if you don't, I don't give a damn. That's the real David, okay? And Michelle is like, don't put this on me. This is on you. This ain't on me. The fact that he's getting so upset at her questioning him after he's the one who's lied about it, not only to her, but to Pastor Cal, is hilarious to me. But David claims that he wants to clear all of this up before the couples retreat. And Michelle is like, why? So that we can pretend like we're happy when we're there? No, Michelle, he wants to wrap this up now so that you don't ask questions about it when Madison is there. That's why he wants to wrap it up right now, put a bow on it, okay? And Michelle lets him know that he's been acting like he's the greatest, most loyal and respectful guy on earth, but all the time he's been giving her lies, all right? And she says that she's been honest with him the whole time. Why couldn't he do the same? He told her that he actually valued and liked her honesty, and he must have liked something about it because she's been talking to him like shit the whole time, and he's just been there smiling and grinning and bearing it, okay? Like I said, we don't like how Michelle spoke to David or treated David during this season, but she was still straight up with him about everything she didn't like about him. On the other hand, Michelle is like, well, if you felt rejected, you could have told me. Now, Michelle, you knew that you were making that man feel rejected. Like, we got to be fair, okay? He didn't have to tell you that. You know that you were rejecting him all the time, all right? But that still does not justify what David did. He should have broken up with her. If he didn't like it, he should have broken up with her. And then he could text Roxiie, Danielle, and Tiffany all he wanted to, okay? But David says that he doesn't even feel like Michelle wanted to be married to him up until this point. And I would have to say facts. We haven't seen Michelle this passionate about anything else in their relationship. Okay, but these text messages, oh baby, she's on it. She's in, all right? Which is why y'all should have been broken up. Y'all should have not been together even for it to get to this point, all right? But David said that what he did, that's not him. And he's so embarrassed at his actions. But he says that decision day is in 2 weeks and he can already guess what Michelle's answer is going to be. And Michelle's like, well, if you already know the answer, then go. Go be with Tiffany. Why you still here? Just go. Listen, at this point, Michelle wants David to break up with her so that she doesn't get fined for breaking up with him, all right? But David claims that he wants to make this work with Michelle and he never meant to hurt her, but he doesn't even feel like if he changed the things that Michelle had been complaining about, that she'd want to be with him. Well, you lied about those things too, David. You said that you didn't live in a basement. You said that with a snap of your finger, you can move anywhere that you want. Those were lies, okay? Those were lies. And he claims that even if he never texted Michelle by accident, he would still be telling her all of this. He would still be revealing all of this to her. You a damn lie, and you know it. We know that's bullshit because look how long it's taken you to have this conversation now. Boy, stop. And he's still trying to turn it on her, saying that she took too long to process what happened. And Michelle is like, look, we can end this conversation now. If you about to blame me, we can end it now, period. Because Michelle is fully convinced that David is doing way worse than he's telling her, and he's trying to flip it on her, and she's not here for it, all right? So David gets up, and he leaves, and then we see production follow him, and they ask him for more clarification on the whole Tiffany story. Meanwhile, Michelle, she packing up her shit. She like, I'm packing all of my things up, okay? And she leaves. She walks right right past David and the producer in the hallway with her bag. She like, she gets on the elevator and she's out of there. And David tells the producer that he'll try to clear things up with Michelle at the couples retreat, okay, if she shows up. See, David thought that he was going to one-up Michelle by leaving the apartment for the night. Michelle was like, oh, I'm going to do you one better. I'm about to move the out of here, okay? So now we see Tom and Camille. They're meeting up with Pastor Cal, and they tell him how great things have been going and how sustainable their relationship has been. So Pastor Cal asks them about their concrete plans for decision day. Well, their concrete plans after decision day. Have they made any? No, they have not. But Tom says that they'll both spend time at each other's place. Both of their places are really small, too small for both of them to live together. I'm like, well, damn, that's very small. And they also live on opposite sides of the city. But Tom says that his lease will be up a bit sooner than Camille's, and he says that they're going to alternate places. They're going to go to her place, they're going to stay at his place. And clearly that is not what Camille wants to do, but she's going along with whatever Tom is saying. Again, Camille, you need to use your big girl words, okay, and say what it is that you want, all right? But Pastor Cal says, well, that's very interesting because y'all live together now, so why would y'all leave this situation and then live apart, right? So he brings up breaking the lease or possibly subletting because he wants these two to plan on living together. And Tom agrees, and he says that he's open to all options because he doesn't want to change their lifestyle. Camille lets Tom know that this is what she wants too, but she's gonna let him take the lead on this, and that will make her feel more secure. I definitely agree with Camille because you can tell in this relationship, she's the one who initiates the conversations. She initiates sex. I can understand her getting like tired. I'm like, okay, you initiate something, damn. But the translation for that, Tom, if you didn't catch it, the translation is, don't make me have to bring this up to you again. Don't make me have to bring this up to you again. Don't make me have to initiate this conversation again, okay? I don't know if Tom knows that's what she's saying, but Tom, I'm telling you, that's exactly what she's saying, all right? So next we see Juan. He's meeting up with his friend, cousin, trainer, I don't know. And he says that things are great at home, and he tries to always stay positive. Yes, we know that, Jonathan, but he describes living with Carla as fine and not being a problem. I said yikes, because who wants their partner to describe their living situation as fine? Okay, so he says that he guesses what they're doing is trying to build a romantic connection. I said, you guess? You guess, child? And his friend is like, he's very familiar with tantric yoga, and he tells him how important a romantic connection is in a relationship. Thank you, friend, for letting Juan know that. But Juan tells his friend that he's not really into spiritual connections like that. So what we're seeing is Juan just obliging Carla with her tarot cards and her sage and her yoga and her crystals and all that, but he doesn't really care for it, and it's just not in him. He says that he feels like she's living in some sort of fantasy world, and he wants to be grounded in reality. These two are so incompatible. It's not even funny when it comes to finances, when it comes to business, and when it comes to spirituality, right? But Juan says that it's tough, and he doesn't know what he's going to do on decision day. And this is the part of that toxic positivity that I was speaking about in the previous review, okay? Jonathan will smile your ass all the way to divorce court, and you won't even know what the hell happened. You won't know. You'll be like, we was just laughing and joking yesterday. He's like, I know, but I want a divorce now. That's Juan. That's Juan. And I'm so sure that Carla is going to be very hurt when she watches this back and she sees that Juan really has no interest in the things that she is so passionate about. All right. So next we see Allison, and she's meeting up with a stylist, and I'm like, why? Allison is Madison and Alan, for y'all who don't know. Allison, why y'all even here? Because if I was Alan, she couldn't say a damn thing to me until she has proven that she can go at least a full week with bringing her ass home at a decent time. You can't tell me shit about nothing, all right? Alan says that he likes to dress with a mix of urban, James Bond, and trailer park boy style. I said, wow, what a combination. What a combination. And he says that he likes looking like he doesn't care about how he looks. Okay, Alan, but he does want a more refined look for more formal outings. And Madison said that to Alan, a refined look is a fur coat and a gold chain. A fur coat and a gold chain, baby, the way I screamed, all right? So they do a little fashion show, and Alan, he does look really nice in the clothes, and Madison is like, ooh, you look hot. So you know Alan was hype, and in his confessional, he was like, what? Who would have thought that just putting on a nice outfit would make such a difference? Yes, Alan. Yes, don't nobody want to see you looking like you just rolled up out of bed. Yes, put on a nice outfit, but not for Madison. For you, okay? But yeah, clothes do make a big difference, all right? So now we see Thomas and Camille. They're on a little date, and they speak about their meeting with Pastor Cal and them possibly living together. So Camille has never lived with someone, but Tom has. So she wants to know how they're going to split these bills up and their responsibilities. Tom says that he wants to do 50-50, and I said, okay, Tom, but make sure it's all 50-50, okay? 50-50 chores, 50-50 cooking. Everything is going to be 50-50 and not Camille paying 50% of all the bills and then she still has to come home and clean the whole house up and wash your dirty drawers and do all the cooking. No. Because if that's the case, then it's not 50-50, boo. So Camille lets him know that she doesn't love the idea of them going back and forth between apartments, but Tom says that initially they're going to have to just do what they have to do. Again, Tom is not giving answers that would make someone feel secure about them moving forward in this situation. I want to know when these leases are up and how much it takes to break their lease, because I've broken a lease before and it ain't cheap. It is not cheap, but sometimes it is necessary. And you can see how frustrated Camille is in her confessional about Tom's indecisiveness. But remember, Tom is the same man who dated a woman for 9 years and didn't marry her and cheated on her. Hello? And on top of that, he don't know how to run. All right? Plus, in the preseason interview, Tom said that the reason why he wanted to do Married at First Sight is because he will be pushed into marrying someone and he won't have the time to actually think about it. Hello? Don't forget. This is Tom. I like Tom and Camille, but we can't forget this is who Tom is, all right? So I'm sure that him talking about moving in with Camille has Tom scared AF because he does have a problem with commitment. 9 years, and he didn't marry her, and then he cheated on her. This is Tom. Keep that in mind, all right? So I don't know, Camille. I don't know. So they continue to speak about their apprehension regarding decision day because there are obviously a whole lot of factors at play. But Camille isn't feeling very confident in Tom right now because decision day is only 9 days away. So now we see everyone, they're getting ready. They're packing up for the couple's retreat. We see that Alan has received the package to like fix his teeth. I don't know if it's a whitener or like a straightener because, you know, they send you those things in the mail where you can put the mold in and then they do the molding of your teeth and then they send you back some type of Invisalign, or it looks like the one where it can be whitening, or maybe it's a 2-in-1 system. I don't know. But Alan says that he's doing this because Madison says that she finds a nice set of teeth very attractive. Alan, you should be doing this for yourself. Wanting to look put together and wearing some decent clothes, that should be for you. Wanting to make sure that your teeth situation is nice how you like it, that should be for you, not for anyone else. You're a grown man, Alan, okay? But I will say that I'm not mad at all of this stuff that Madison is making Allison do, because at the end of the day, these things will benefit Alan, all right? Whether Madison is in the picture or not. So next we see Jonathan, he shaved his beard in a very interesting style for the retreat. And we see David, he's in his car confessional and he says that he's going to the retreat, but no one knows he's going. Madison knows you're going. Stop playing. You know you and Madison spoke about it, all right? And he says that he doesn't even know if Michelle will be there, but he's going to make the best of it. We see MM and Michelle, they're riding to the retreat together, and they've clearly bonded over their trash-ass relationships, but Michelle says that she's going to the retreat for answers because she still does not believe that there's a Tiffany. She doesn't think that Tiffany exists, and she wants everyone's thoughts. See, David wanted to nip it in the butt before the retreat, but Michelle said, oh no, let's make this a group project. I want everyone's opinion. Michelle said, I want everyone's opinion, all right? We then learn that David has been apologizing to Michelle for throwing it back on her, and he says he wants to talk about it again in private, but Michelle is over it because she says that it's been 3 times that they've spoken about this situation and absolutely nothing has been resolved. On top of that, she says it's now hard for her to believe anything that he says because she knows that he's fully capable of lying to her right to her face, all right? But Michelle does say that she wants to address it with Madison because she actually feels bad for thinking that Madison may be the one who David has been texting. So we see everyone, they're arriving at the retreat house in Northbrook, Illinois. And Michelle does say that she's talked herself down during the drive over with the David situation, but she's still pissed and upset. So Alan says that he wants a fun weekend, but he knows that that can only be achieved without certain participants. And he looks right over at MM because we all know that he's talking about Aatchi. Alan cannot stand Aatchi, and it cracks me up every time he shades him. He does not miss an opportunity to shade Aatchi. But MM says that she doesn't even know if Aatchi's coming, and if he does, They will definitely be sleeping in separate bedrooms, and I'm sure he would like that too, okay? Real talk. So Michelle tells everyone that David finally confessed to messaging another woman, and as soon as she said that, they immediately showed us Madison's expression. Production, y'all so messy. Y'all are messy, but Michelle does say that she isn't ready to just forgive and forget like David wants, all right? So child, next we see David. He shows up and he greets everyone with a hug, even Michelle. You know Aatchi would have walked his ass up in there and greeted everyone except for okay? We know that's how he gets down. So of course, when David shows up, it's very awkward because he's telling them that he didn't even know if Michelle was coming or not because they haven't spoken. And it's so awkward to the point where Madison, she makes a little joke and she asks Alan to go grab a knife in the kitchen to cut the tension in the room. And I said, you know what, Madison? If you and David are really messing around, if you're really messing around and you're making jokes like this, that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy, honestly. So Alan, he comes back with a butter knife and they all share a little laugh about it. But in David's confessional, he is shook, okay, because he knows that this conversation is coming. It's still early, so he doesn't know when, but he is dreading having this conversation with Michelle, especially in front of everybody, all right? So we see Juan and Carla. They arrive and everyone is cracking up at Juan's mustache. We learn that Alan is cooking dinner for everyone tonight. Don't you just love Alan? See, Madison, you have a man who loves to cook at home, but you would rather be outside at 9 a.m. getting tacos. That's what you would rather do? All right, girl. So we see Tom and Camille. They show up a little later and the vibes are all great. Everyone is drinking, they're laughing, they're smiling, they're eating. But as we know, all good things must come to an end because, baby, we see Aatchi. He shows up and he walks in with a folder in his hand. And I immediately hit pause because I said, you know what? I know he didn't bring his dusty ass in here with the green folder that he stole from one of his students. I know he didn't. You could have done that anywhere else, anytime else, but you want to do it now. All right, you know what? Let me calm down. Let's sing the song together, y'all. Calm down, girl. Hey, it's gonna be okay. Because what is wrong with this man? Aatchi, I cannot stand your ass. I really can't. I really can't. You are a low down, dirty ass bitch, okay? And I don't really be talking about men like that. I don't like to call men the B word, but baby, you have earned it. So as soon as he comes in, of course, everyone stops smiling and he's just standing there and then he asks to speak and she's like, all right, sure, let's do it. So they go to another table, not even another room. Y'all could have went anywhere, but I guess production was like, nah, y'all gotta stay right here because we didn't pay for a camera team to be upstairs. So y'all have the conversation right here, all right? So Aatchi starts off by saying that he came there to put an end to everything, and this was a ride that they both enjoyed at times, but it's run its course, okay? And he just wants to pull her aside and give her these divorce papers to sign. And she takes the pen. When she took the pen, I was like, okay, She took the pen and she's like, all right, where do I sign? I said, period. Make sure he know you don't give a damn. You're ready to sign them papers. It don't mean a damn thing to you, okay? But then she was like, this is only one page. And there's nowhere for me to actually sign. And Aatchi was like, oh. And I said, yeah, because you're so busy pulling stunts and shows, trying to have a moment that you didn't even bring the complete document, you big dummy. And she's like, I'm not signing this. This is a legal document. I need to have the full document to sign it. And he's like, oh, that's just a formality. Bitch, no, it's not. This is a divorce document. Are you crazy? And you want to bring her 1 page out of 4? Why the hell would she sign an incomplete document? Are you dumb? And says, look, I promise you, I will give you your divorce with no problem. Don't worry about that. But this is just 1 of 4. And he's like, okay, understood. And then when she's done talking, he's like, well, can you just sign it? Boy, f*** you. Seriously, no, she can't sign it. So he gets mad because won't sign it. And then he storms off like a little biatch. And he's mad because his little plan backfired. And he ended up looking stupid when he was trying to have a little moment and trying to embarrass I bet that damn book that he's selling on Amazon is missing pages too. That's why it keeps getting 1-star reviews. Boy, if you don't get out of here, even if it had all 4 pages, if I was I'm gonna be like, yeah, I need my lawyer present to review these documents because the way that Aatchi gets down with his broke ass, he might try to take apartment. He might try to take her air fryer. He might try to take her puppy. You never know. And I started cracking up because as Aatchi's leaving, starts trolling him. And she's like, oh, are you running away again? And he deserves it. Because he came there with the sole purpose of embarrassing her, and it didn't work. Just like he did at the anniversary dinner the other night when he waited for her to come out from the bathroom to get up and leave. He loves embarrassing her in front of the group. And he calls MM an asshole again. Boy, bye, we don't give a damn. So he's in his confessional after he leaves the house, and he's like, you know what? I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm just not. And I'm like, you right. You a cup of shit, Aatchi. That's what you are. And he says that, you know what? When I leave here tonight, I'm going to sleep like a baby because I'm very happy with the decision that I made. I have no problems with it. Okay, boy, whatever. Now, like I said, these two need a divorce, 1,000%. And it is also obvious that Aatchi was going to have to be the one to do it because MM just refuses to let go. She won't let go. But the way that Aatchi went about this, trash. The way that Aatchi went about this was absolutely horrible and disgusting. He could have done this so many other ways at so many other places and moments, but he wanted to embarrass MM. He is so insecure in himself that he looks for any opportunity where he can knock MM down. And I'm so happy that it didn't work this time. And I'm so happy that she didn't cry in front of him. Oh, I'm so proud of you in this moment, MM. I really am. Shout out to MM, all right? And she looked beautiful in this scene, all right? So MM, she goes back with the group and she tells them what happened. And it's clear to them that he came here with the sole purpose of handing her that paper because he didn't even bring a change of clothes, all right? He came here just to hand her that one sheet of paper and thought that she was going to sign it. Are you dumb? Child. So Alan was like, I don't get why he had to do it in front of us. And MM says that he wanted her to snap just like she did at the 1 month anniversary. And he came here to try to hurt me, but he can't. And Camille was chiming in. She was like, and won't. And didn't, period, Camille. So MM's brain is finally working, and I love that for her. So Juan says that what's really sad about this is that Aatchi is a teacher, and this is the example that he's setting for his students, that he's setting for the children who look up to him. You can't even treat your partner with decency and respect, right? And then Tom jumps in and he's like, look, Aatchi is always blaming someone else for something, and he's never seen him do any self-reflection. And Tom says that's why he was never really able to connect with Aatchi because they're just not on the same wavelength, okay? They're completely different. Absolutely no one likes Aatchi, and rightfully so, all right? So they get off of the topic of Aatchi and MM, and they jump over to Juan and Carla, and Juan says that things are fine between them, and they're getting involved with things that Carla likes to do, and he's trying to see if there's some chemistry and intimacy there, and Carla says that she's trying to navigate and understand that they're different people because Juan's lack of affection has caused her walls to go back up because she feels like she can't be her true self in the relationship, but she says that she had to let that go and just appreciate Juan for who he is. At this point, both Juan and Carla are like, look, we got 9 more days of this shit. We got 9 more days of this shit. Let's just write it out and get paid, all right? Then Michelle volunteers David, and she's like, I think that David would like to speak. I said, Michelle, what? So he starts by saying, look, I really tried hard in the beginning and I effed up and I was texting another woman. And he says that he wasn't honest about it because he had multiple opportunities and he still lied, right? And he says that as a man, as a son, as a friend, as a brother, as a cousin, as a man who wears man buns, I just want to apologize to all of you sitting at this table. I am so sorry for sexting Tiffany. I said, David, please, all right? But he still blames Michelle and says that he effed up because he wasn't getting enough attention in his marriage. And of course, Michelle is rolling her eyes at this. And Tom is about to praise David for his honesty, but Michelle said, hold up. Not so fast. Not so fast, because I had to actually call his cousin Denise to get the truth before he did this little confession. So don't go praising him, okay? And David reiterates that he wasn't getting what he needed in the marriage. And Michelle tells the group why infidelity is so triggering to her because that is why her parents got divorced. And she says that she actually started trying to warm up to David even though it was slow. And I'm going to have to give Michelle that because remember in the review when they were going shopping for clothes and I'm like, is she staying with him? Because why are you even doing this? I will say that I think that even after seeing the finances and them discussing it, Michelle was starting to warm up to David. She was, but it might have been too little too late, right? That's not up to Michelle to decide, okay, I'm ready to warm up now. He needs to be, fully welcoming of it. But I will say she was starting to warm up just a little bit, right? But she says the second that they start doing better, this happens. And now her walls are back up, especially because David is now blaming her. So David says, look, you don't even ask me how my day is. We haven't kissed once since the wedding. We don't hold hands, nothing. So Michelle turns to Alan and Madison. She's like, have y'all kissed since the wedding day? And they were like, no. She's like, oh, okay. Alan, have you been texting other women? And Alan was like, no. And Michelle is like, exactly. I wish that Michelle would have asked Madison the same question. I would have loved to hear that. But David immediately shuts that conversation down. And he's like, I don't want to get into this conversation right now. I don't want to talk about this right now. And then when Alan tries to give more advice based on him and Madison's relationship, right? David is like, yo, Alan, just chill. And I'm like, ooh, what's going on? And then Madison is like, yeah, just chill out. She looks at David and then she looks at Alan. She's like, yeah, just chill out. They both look nervous AF. And Michelle is watching the both of them. She's looking at both of them to see how they're reacting to this conversation. But Michelle does apologize for involving Alan and Madison and making them an example in this situation. But Madison, she starts getting all flustered, like she's about to cry. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to have any more of these serious conversations. Madison is getting so upset during this conversation. Why? Why is that, Madison? Tell us, Maddie. Share with the class. She gets so upset to the point where she gets up and she storms off from the table and she's like, you know what? I'm about to just pick up my bags and leave, okay? I'm over this. Exactly what she told Dr. Pia that she wasn't going to do. Exactly what she told Dr. Pia that she wasn't going to do. And this is a situation where she's not even arguing with Alan. She's not arguing with David. She's not arguing with Michelle. She's not arguing with anyone. And she got so upset that she had to get up and storm off. Madison, are you okay? Something wrong with that girl. Something's wrong with that girl. I don't even know if Madison is cheating on Alan. I don't know. Okay. We're just speculating. It's laughs. It's a kiki. I don't know. But the fact that she can't even handle conflict, not only in a romantic relationship, but in just a regular conversation. What you about to do? Leave and go to the bar and drink beer and eat tacos till 7 a.m? And did y'all hear when Michelle said that David be out till like 3 a.m. in the morning too? Yeah, I caught that. And Michelle says that she finds Madison walking away to be very suspicious. And I agree, because all of that was unnecessary and unwarranted. It definitely was not that serious unless it is that serious. All right. So, child, when we get to the previews, we see David and Michelle. They're still going back and forth about the text message. And we see Michelle bringing the idea of Madison and David to Alan, child. And then we see Michelle pressing Madison. And we see Alan cursing David out and punching cabinets. A whole mess, and you already know that I'm here for it. I cannot wait till next week's episode. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I will be reviewing the after party for episode 13 and for this episode, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Love is Blind is coming up, baby, so make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you are made aware when I post my next upload, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!